Hello and welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult. Today, we're going to talk about Leah Remini's recent update about Mike Rinder and how it's inspiring Catholics. We're going to look at an article out about that. Scientology protesters in Los Angeles and New Haven were assaulted over the weekend. We're going to get into that. Tom Cruise's Walk of Fame star in Hollywood got an update. We're going to look at that. And Scientology is getting really desperate to get people to their New Year's event. Wait till you hear what they're trying to do. That and so much more on today's Scientology Culty Recap. I feel like I should rename it that. Scientology Culty Recap. Or just Scientology Recap. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I think about these things. I'll think about these things. Hello. Thank you to the moderators for being here. Huge mahalo to the members as well. Love seeing you there in the green. And a beautiful thank you and welcome to everybody in the live chat. I see Anonymous Lens is here, which is perfect because we're going to look at a clip from your channel. Yes, we are. We're going to be looking at all kinds of stuff, you guys. And we are going to kick it off by looking at a little Church of Scientology, who did a little video about Xenu, the influencer, Scientology's OG Galactic Overlord. Because you guys, Xenu is making a name for himself. And I'm going to take credit. It's not just because he's Scientology's Galactic Overlord. I think it's because I dated him in October. Y'all remember that? Xenu and I. We went out and protested Scientology in the Twin Cities. He was kind of handsy. It was a whole thing. And now I feel like it went to his head. Now he's becoming this influencer. It is a whole thing. So let's take a look at this. This is from Church of Scientology.
Hey there, Intergalactic fam. It's your boy, Xenu, Emperor of Drama, ruler of the Galactic Confederation, and the original architect of Cluster Chaos. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that volcano button. All right, let's jump into today's Q&A. First question from Atheta Tot. Xenu, why aren't you mentioned in Scientology 101? Can you believe it? After all I've done for Scientology, billions of souls, volcanoes, hydrogen bombs. They just leave me out like yesterday's stardust.
It's so funny. It's only like 4 minutes or so. You guys got to go watch the whole thing. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to take all these links I'm sharing with you, and they're going to be in the description of the video, so y'all can go watch them all. It was fabulous. I laughed so hard. That's right, Aaron. He's mad about the breakup. You know he is. I'm just saying. I just feel like now Xenu is becoming a clout chasing goblin. Not the other way around. I wasn't using Xenu for clout. Xenu was using me for clout. Now look, it's so obvious, and I'm so happy that Church of Scientology is calling it out. Call it out. Call it out. Rika says, cannot believe Natalie dumped her boyfriend Xenu. I had to. He wouldn't leave me alone. Aaron says he's trying to make you jealous. Well, it is not working, Xenu. It's going to take a lot for me to walk down that road again. Okay, now let's go take a look. Let's go to Hollywood and take a look at Tom Cruise's star on the Hollywood Walk of Stars because it got a little bit of an update, and I'm not hating it. Let's look at it. Complimentary of MD Media 18. This is Tom Cruise star on the Walk of Fame. He put down some notes. I can only imagine what they say. If you guys know, throw it up in the chat. Put in the chat if you're on the replay. Hello to you. Get in those comments and participate. This is a participation event. Look how people are stopping and reading the notes there. I love this.
People are walking over.
This couple here walked by and they're walking back to take a picture.
It's just easy to on your phone when if you want to print that picture out, you just darken out the stickers.
It's just so great. Taking a picture of Tom Cruise's new star there with little updated notes added, anecdotes. or annotations. Annotations. Isn't that what it's called when you're in a Word document and you add some stuff to it? You make annotations. I think that's the word. Tom Cruise's star at the Hollywood Walk of Fame with annotations. It was so fabulous. The best part was how people were stopping to take pictures with it. It's a thing. It was so great. Samantha, that was Tom Cruise's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Scientology up north, and they will share the family photos from their holiday. That's right. And then we saw this. Hey, Don Gloves, good to see you. That's right. Life After a Cult Year 2 begins. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the first day on my channel here on YouTube. And here we are, day 1, year 2. Let's go. Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. Okay, so now let's jump over. Speaking of Tom Cruise, we got to talk about this a little bit. I don't know if you guys heard, maybe not. I didn't highlight it because frankly, I'm sick of Tom Cruise, but I thought this was interesting. It's been in the media how, Suri Cruise is inheriting millions now that she turned 18. She got her trust fund from Tom Cruise, the provider, the greatest daddy ever, because he left this trust. And at 18, she came into all this money. Well, Katie Holmes is saying, no, not true, y'all. Not true. Look at this. If we could look at it with all these ads right here, what's happening? Hold on. Let's see if we can't refresh that. Katie Holmes disputes report that daughter Suri, 18, inherited trust funds from dad Tom Cruise. Completely false. She said it's completely false right here in quotes, completely false. Holmes wrote over a screenshot of the article, Daily Mail, you can stop making stuff up, which I'm glad she pointed that out because one, not just because, I don't know. This is speculation on my part. So pull up a chair while we speculate. In fact, hold on. We're going to need a little coffee for this. Now, this is speculation. I have no evidence of this. But doesn't it seem like something Tom Cruise's people would do is leak some story about how he has this trust in 18 and now Suri gets all this money because he's just the best dad and provider in the world. And now Katie Holmes is over here like, no, that did not happen. And I'm glad she brought it up for 2 reasons. One, because shame on Tom Cruise's camp for allegedly, I speculate, planted stories trying to make him look like a good dad. But secondly, too, it's like, allegedly, if it was whoever it was leaked by, I think it was Tom Cruise's people. But again, allegedly, I don't know why I'm speculating. Why would you tell the world that this young girl now came into all this money? I don't know. Seems like you put her in danger a bit. Seems like maybe something you don't want to let out about your children. But Katie Holmes is like, no, that did not happen. Interesting. Isn't it interesting, you guys? I thought it was really interesting. Let's move on. Let's move on to the desperation. Scientology is so desperate. It is starting to smell. In fact, I know it's early. It is a Monday, but we should wake up the Office of Special Affairs, Scientology's Dirty Tricks branch, also in charge of doing public relations for Scientology. David Miscavige, wake up your people on this Monday. Boom, boom. It is Monday, so we get to be aggressive. Awesome. Office of Special Affairs. You have to see this. Check this out here. We're going to look at how Scientology, I mean, you probably already know about it, but I want to make sure you understand like how it plays, how it's coming across, what it's giving. And what I'm about to talk about, you guys, is giving desperation. It's like last call at the bar and there's 2 people left and they're like, hey. Yeah, that's what it's giving Scientology. Massive desperation. Look at this, you guys. Scientology is having their New Year's Eve event. This is coming up Saturday, December 14th. And I know, before y'all go like, Natalie, that is not New Year's Eve. Scientology does their event, their New Year's Eve event. They record it. They do it live at the Shrine Auditorium. And then they send it out to all the different organizations of Scientology. And they have this New Year's Eve event. Man, I hated that event because I don't want to be out on New Year's Eve, number one, right? Be driving around and stuff. Secondly, I just did not want to be at a Scientology event, especially on what should be like a beautiful holiday, a first day of the rest of the new year. I don't want to be nowhere near Scientology. Even when I was a Scientologist on my best day, I was like not down with this New Year's event. So they pre-record it. They do the event at the Shrine Auditorium on New Year's Eve. Then it goes out. But look at this, you guys. They are so desperate to get people to show up that they are offering a complimentary gourmet dinner. Gourmet dinner. You just got to come early at 2:00 for a delicious gourmet dinner and enjoy amazing atmosphere, including a dynamic string trio, a world-class magician, and have your portrait drawn by a digital caricature artist. So this is the length Scientology has to go to bait their own people into showing up for one of these events. What's on the menu, you might ask? Now, I ain't gonna lie. If these are their real pictures from their own food, it looks amazing. Maple glazed salmon, some chicken with balsamic glaze, garlic truffle mashed potatoes, crunchy kale salad. I would skip that. Caprese salad, yes. Quinoa, maybe. Clam chowder. I do like clam chowder. French onion. They're all over the place. You got clam chowder. Is it a buffet? Clam chowder, French onion soup, lobster bisque, which I love a good lobster bisque. I do. Artisan dinner rolls, some asparagus, chicken empanadas, spinach feta empanadas, hot beverage, bar with coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. How can they feed this many people? Which means how many people are coming? Probably not many. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, no hot dogs. And yes, dinner at 2. It's like a late lunch, I guess. But can you imagine? It's so like, how are we going to get people? Office of Special Affairs. Did you all have a meeting? Was there a meeting? Was it with David Miscavige in my fan fiction of How You Work Today? Because I don't know. I'm not there. I left that place, 15 years ago. So January 1st, it's going to be my anniversary. Like, how does this work? But let's feed them. That was a bright idea. How do we get people to show up to the New Year's event? We need to make a good show of it. How do we do that? Let's offer them. What was it? Was face painting in there? I don't even remember now. But food, multiple plates of food. Will Sea Org members get to enjoy this? I doubt it. I doubt it. Unless they have to fill the seats of the dinner because nobody shows up for it. How do you even plan a meal for that many people without RSVPing? I don't see how this is happening. I don't know who the event planner is over at Scientology, but this seems like a fail. MD Media says the homeless are welcome. Yeah, that would be something. Nope, no beans and rice, not at this New Year's event dinner. But how desperate is that? How desperate is that? And it doesn't stop there. Scientology is not only baiting their members with a gourmet dinner. And I got to say, I might show up to something for lobster bisque. That menu did sound good, even though it was all over the place. I guess something for everyone. I don't know. It's not just that. They're having to bus Scientologists in, bring them in from all over to fill seats at the Shrine Auditorium because they know there's just not enough Scientologists anymore, or even Sea Organization members and staff to fill those seats. So what are they doing? What are they doing? Well, let's look to Rika. Let's look to Rika over out in, hold on, if I could find the clip. There it is. You got to see this. This is in Portland. Listen to this.
Portland is going to Los Angeles for the live New Year's event on December 14th, 2024. That's what that sign says right there.
In Portland. So as far away as Portland, they're going to be having Scientologists come to Los Angeles for this. And then they'll hold their own event in Portland a couple weeks later. And those people have to show up to it again. How crappy is that? How crappy is that? Marcy says, yes, Salisbury steak for sure. 2 p.m. dinner. Are they trying to compete with Denny's early bird special? Okay, let's be honest about this, you guys. And I want to say this in what I hope to be not offensive. What do we see at the blue buildings in Los Angeles, we see a lot of very elderly Scientologists and elderly staff members. And though I am a woman of a certain age myself, I'm 54, and you know what? I don't hate a 5 p.m. dinner. I even might do 4:30. You know what I'm saying? If it's a weekday and I want to get to bed early, I'm not opposed. I just noticed that as I've gotten older, dinner has gotten earlier. So they kind of have to cater to their people. Now, I still think 2 o'clock is too early because I have friends in their 70s that are not eating dinner at 2 o'clock. But I'm just saying, I think that is part of this, is they're trying to do it at a time when a lot of the remaining members will be available for it. Mage says, I wouldn't travel from Portland to LA for all the food in the world. Do you see how desperate they are to do it? Amber says, and Amber, if you guys don't know, is former Sea Org. The last New Year's event I went, I never went inside. Instead, I smoked a joint in the parking lot. Amber, you naughty, naughty girl, you. That is pretty bold. That is pretty bold. In the parking lot, you say. Was that an LA event? I'm curious. Like, was that when you were still in the Sea Org or after you left? Now you got to tell me, Amber. Now I need to hear this. Rika says, oh, really? Oh, I got to be at the one in Portland for sure. Yeah, I cannot imagine a world where Portland's not going to take advantage of having another event for the people that could not go to Los Angeles. So they will. Usually they do it on New Year's Eve, which is what I hated about it. I hated that about it. Thank you, Yadira, for the reminder to like and subscribe, y'all. Let's see now. Let's jump over and talk about, you guys, you know how Scientology does their Writers of the Future, and they create this anthology, and they get writers from all over, and they safe point them when it comes to L. Ron Hubbard. And then they, promote their works, and they have an event in April where they do their Writers of the Future awards and all that. Scientology is now going after documentary filmmakers, I think, in the same way. First, they were doing it with writers. Now they're doing it with documentary filmmakers, because look at this. This is Scientology's own press release, and they're promoting Piano to Zanskar, which is a documentary film they're featuring on Scientology's network, Documentary Showcase, the weekly series providing a platform for independent filmmakers to air films on important social, cultural, and environmental issues. Presents the documentary Piano to Zanskar. Now, as I understand it, I don't think that the people doing the documentaries are all Scientologists, but just like Writers of the Future, if you're an artist like that, you're a documentary filmmaker, or you're a writer, and you're like, hey, you're up for this award with the Writers of the Future, or hey, we'd like to feature your documentary on our own network where we reach 53 people. They're lying about who they reach. Scientology got their own network. Has it grown Scientology? Has it? No, it has not. Aaron Smith Levin at Growing Up in Scientology recently shared the birthday game standings, which is a game that Scientologists play, Scientology staff. And it was just in the toilet. It really showed, this leaked document, how Scientology was in fact not expanding, but actually going. So when they mention these things to Scientologists, this is like what they get. Nobody cares. Even the Scientologists don't care. Scientologists don't have time to be watching documentaries. They are so busy trying to volunteer and appease Scientology and go up the bridge to total freedom. They are. That's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. Now, let's take a look at Anonymous Lens. Anonymous Lens dropped a video on the connection between Scientology and the Department of Defense. Yes. We are going to look at just a clip, but again, these will be linked down below after this video.
What's worse, veterans who volunteered were essentially treated as test subjects for Scientology's propaganda machine. This isn't the first time the Church of Scientology has sought legitimacy by attaching itself to respected institutions. For decades, they've been accused of exploiting vulnerable populations to expand their influence. Partnering with them puts veterans at risk while undermining trust in government healthcare decisions. At its core, this decision reflects a deeper issue: how we care for those who've served. Gulf War veterans deserve treatments grounded in science.
not Scientology. Very interesting video, not very long, a lot of information in it. Go check it out. That's on Anonymous Lens, and I'm going to link that down below. Penny, aloha, replay crew, you starting up? Awake way too damn early. You must be on the West Coast. Sins of Scientology. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, S. Gotcha. They're taking advantage of artists that may literally starving to bolster their BS cult. Yeah, it is what they do because they are desperate. Eric Rader's pointing out that if I bought 8 books, I could win the birthday game all by myself. Yeah, you could. Although I think you need more than 10, because I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly from Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology on his video, it was 10, I think, books that the top org had sold. And this wasn't just like, oh, every day at the org and we've sold 10 books this week. It was like at a bookathon where all they were doing was selling books. You know, where they go out with the red tables and all that, and their Dianetic shirts and try to pretend they're not Scientology and use mascots for like Ohio State to try and gain clout. Yeah. Not just Xenu, Scientology are a bunch of clout goblins as well. We see this over and over and over again. Now let's take a little look at this. I loved seeing this. I love that the idea, the movement of exposing Scientology, protesting Scientology, however you do it, watching this video right now is a protest against Scientology. They don't like it. They really hate it if you like and subscribe. But look at this. Gude grandmas, inspired by William Gude, Scientology audit, Streets LA, are uniting and also showing up. Protesting Scientology has become a multi-generational activity. And I'm so here for it. This is over on my community page. Look at this. Gude grandmas are coming out to protest Scientology. Look at that. Es una cult secta, a Gude grandma. I love that. I do believe, you know what? I'm not going to say where she was because I can't remember if I'm allowed to or not. But love seeing that. Love that. Gude grandmas unite. That doesn't mean anything. I'm just being dumb. Love that, a Gude grandma. Yeah, exactly. I love it too because I'm a Gude grandma. We've had Gude girls, and now we've gone on to Gude grandmas and Gude guys. I really wish William should do some merch like that. I think it would be fun. Now let's go over to L. Ron Hubbard Way to the Blue Buildings, where Matthew, MD Media 18, is out there showing us the faces of Scientology. Who are the people that are out there? And he goes out and he pre-records so we get some really clear images. He's got a great camera there. Let's take a look at this. This is on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Some faces of Scientology.
Recording in public.
At Big Blue.
Documenting faces. Missing for families that are looking for members in Scientology. Just so we know. Just so you know, Osa.
Now, these are Scientologists arriving, my guess is, from the airport. That could be like an airport shuttle. They've got their bags. They're going over by the Scientology hotel. I don't know if they know. I think they realize at some point that Matt's across the street videoing, like he notices it there. You know, then they're going on in. I don't know where they're from. Some people might recognize them. Heading over to do their thing. Very clear. In fact, there was another video we're going to look at where I'm pretty sure I know what's going on here, and I'm going to tell you, but you guys tell me. You guys tell me what you think here. Let's see. Jamie's saying that Scientology made comments on some of Jessica Palmadessa's video. No way, really? It might have been someone pretending to Scientology themselves. That would be very unlikely. But I would love to see it. Do you have a screenshot of it? I would love to see it. Could be somebody pretending to be Scientology. Do you mean like the actual Scientology channel? I need to know more about this, Jamie Castro. Let me know. Tell us what you know. Now let's go look at this other video. Here's what I think is happening. I think that the older woman here is a Scientology Sea Organization auditor. And I'm saying that because she's not out there smoking a cigarette. She's not out there drinking something. They're on a break, a session break. So if you're in the middle of a Scientology auditing session and the person you're auditing becomes hungry or they have to use the bathroom, short of it being an interrogation or being in the middle of something Scientology doesn't want you to leave the room for, you will take a break from the session, but the auditor usually stays with that person to make sure nobody interpolates them. That's Scientology speak. I'm pretty sure it's only Scientology for, jack you up, get you upset, push your buttons, trigger you. When Scientologists become triggered, they don't use the word triggered. They say interpolated. You interpolated me. They write reports about it. Dear Diary, Natalie Webster interpolated me today. I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw she was talking smack about Scientology. Much love. They put that in knowledge reports. So that's what I think is happening out here is they're on a session break, which is interesting. He's smoking a cigarette. It just continues to break my heart when we see elderly people working for Scientology and knowing the circumstances under which they are living and working. Security now comes over to tell them to go back inside. Now, what is the really interesting point here, you guys? We've been seeing this. I've seen this in multiple videos. Security usually tells the Sea Org members to go back inside. Sometimes the public, but usually you'll notice they focus on the Sea Org members. They don't care about that public person out there being on video. They care about that woman who may be in the Sea Organization for a very long time. People might recognize her and be like, oh my gosh, that's my aunt, that's my sister, that's somebody that we love and care about, and we haven't heard from her in forever. So security guy comes up, and I'm pretty sure that that's what was happening. It was about the Sea Org member being out there and videoed. Because look, she beelines it. Let's go. Let's go. This guy barely has time to put out his cigarette and grab his coffee. And this woman is hiking. She is like beelining it across L. Ron Hubbard Way to go back into the building where nobody can see her. This guy's lollygagging. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's like, whatever. But she's like, yeah, no. Another reason you can tell it's probably his auditor, the way, because she opens the door for him like that. She's taking care of him in that way. So I'm pretty sure that's what was happening in there. And in that building, in the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles, they deliver the upper level of Scientology, all of the Xenu, all of the body thetans. They train people to audit themselves. I myself was there. They also deliver operating thetan level 5, which is delivered by an auditor. You don't do that yourself. On the operating thetan levels, the OT levels in Scientology, once you start the actual auditing is on operating thetan level 3. 1 and 2 are just like training, basically. 3, you do solo by yourself. 4, you do with an auditor. 5, you do with an auditor. 6 is training. 7 by yourself. 8, oh, I'm going blank. You guys, operating thetan level 8, is it done solo or with an auditor? I think it's done with an auditor. Wow, I really have been out of Scientology for a long time. Tell us in the chat, y'all. Eric Rader says the average age of Sea Org members has got to be 60. Yes, I think so too, Eric. Are they getting regular medical care? No. Are they getting preventive care? No. Is anyone getting a PSA check for prostate cancer? Even though 1 out of 6 males will likely develop it at some point in their life. Are women getting mammograms, which we now know prevent? These things prevent deaths. These things prevent illnesses from really getting out of hand and getting worse. And it's not happening. So what's going to happen to all these people? There are more and more. The demographic, it's like no longer all these young people coming into Scientology. It's a lot of older, elderly Scientologists who are left. And that is dangerous. That's going to create a situation for the Office of Special Affairs, because left and right, you're going to be losing people because you only have the elderly. I'm telling you right now, Osa, listen up. We're watching. So if you have elderly Sea Org members or Sea Org members in general who need medical care, just get it for them. Get it for them. Sell a building. Use some of those billions to do some good for your own people who you should be taking care of. And we know that you're not. But I'm just saying, it's like it's just a crap show that is about to really blow up, because this is only going to get worse, because we know so many in the Sea organization are getting older and elderly. What's going to be done with all of them? Hopefully not what we've seen with Mike Brown's mom, Rosemary, and many other reports and firsthand accounts we've heard about the elderly being abused and not taken care of, not getting proper medical care in the Sea organization. How many times did we see that older guy struggling to push a, what do you call it, those carts with like multiple heavy boxes on it around L. Ron Hubbard Way? We've not seen him in a little while. Why did the Office of Special Affairs go, we need to stop showing that we have elderly people as slaves working 24/7, 7 days a week, no time off, making $47 a week? Okay, now let's go over to Winter Wonderland, you guys, because a few things happened. An assault out of LA caught one of the Scientology security looking like he's doing some kind of signaling. We're going to look at that. Bad Thetan, thank you for being a member of the channel for 8 months. Says Scientology interpolated me, so I'm still in my PJs. I'm not sure how they correlate, but I'm going with it. I agree, Bad Thetan. Anybody in your PJs still, I don't blame you. Life's hard out there when Scientology is out there doing culty things. Although I am wearing pants today. See, I actually am not wearing pajama pants for once today. I'm fully clothed. You'll never know. Half the time, I got my PJ pants on still. All right, now let's go take a look at this. This is at Winter Wonderland. And look, you guys, what is this guy signaling?
It's a secto. Are you LAPD? Glendale? Long Beach? Are you LAPD?
I mean, what was this? Some kind of Morse code? Some kind of 2 over here? Somebody bring me a coffee. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I saw that video originally and I didn't pick up on it, but Auto LA did and made a short out of it. What do you guys think? Did that look like signaling? Like, what was happening? What are we seeing? That's right, Marcy. Yay, pants. What was happening? I'm seeing if anybody has commented on that yet. Yeah, Scientology up north. Morse? I don't know. Probably some system. I say I hope people copy it and then just go out there and do their own, make up their own. Anyways, yeah, steal second. That's what it looked like. They were in the middle of playing baseball. Fuzzy pink handcuffs. I agree. Scientology up north. He looked uncomfortable. Very insightful. I think so too. I think so too. James Steele, let's all protest against wearing pens. Cubana Chica, was he saying help? I mean, like, rescue me? Probably not, because he's an employee. He's being paid to be there. He's not a Scientologist. And I think he's law enforcement too. Yeah. Hidden Mike? Bina, maybe. Yeah. Hand jive? David, maybe. Like, what's going on? Scientology up north. Excellent point. I don't think they're told they will be YouTube famous on this gig. No, they do not. And you know who we didn't see? Well, we're going to look at some upcoming videos. There's a new security guard, at least new to me. I didn't see him, and the guy is rude. We're going to see why. He assaulted Danny, but where's Ted? Was Ted being too nice, too close to the protesters? Did they not like that he got into a heated interaction with William Gude and then made nice? Did they not like that? Did they don't like that Ted didn't engage? Where's Ted? I'm hoping he just had the weekend off. Hey, Cubs champion 16. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. What do you think? Where's Ted? I guess he could have a day off. I mean, maybe it's just that. So let's look at this. Let's take a look. This is from Danny's Impact at Winter Wonderland.
But just be careful. Just be careful. Shut up, buddy.
So that's a new security guard that I have not seen.
Shut me up. Shut
unidentified man, actually. He never identified himself as a security guard. So honestly, we don't know even for sure.
Shut up. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Fuck? What are you gonna
What
do?
are you gonna do, bud?
What are you gonna do?
This is what Scientology does.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's so funny. I think, is that like, I don't know. I've seen guys do that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but worlds can never harm me. Just seems like, why are you getting in Danny's face like that?
I'm not even a Scientologist.
You're working for them,
Doesn't
stupid.
matter.
Back
Doesn't
up.
mean I
Back
put
up.
Oh, it matters. It matters. And I love how all of this takes place right in front of the sign of Scientology that says, when we can all trust each other, there will be peace on earth. That's what the sign says right behind them while security is doing this. Alleged security. We don't know who this guy is. He never identified himself.
No,
Back up. Just be careful. Con cuidado. Es una secta. Le van a pedir su información.
And Danny continues to effectively let people, especially Spanish people, know this is a cult. This is a cult.
Una vez que entra, nunca. Solo con cuidado.
Did he say I'll give you $100 if they ask for your information? Did I hear that right? Did y'all hear that? Yeah, Cubana Chica. Where's Ted? Where's Ted?
Es gratis. Es pura mentira. Es pura mentira. Es una secta. Con cuidado. Es una secta. Con the picture, but yes.
So Danny must have been telling him, like, don't give your information. Because it sounded to me like the guy said, hey, I'll give you $100 if they ask for your information. Are they really not asking for information now because of that? Because they normally do. Any Scientology event, they have you sign in to get your information. They are like, you know, that like Lord of the Rings Gollum guy, give me your email. I mean, it's disgusting. It's so gross. It's so gross. So Danny's out there letting people know in Spanish, hey, it's a cult. Don't go in. Don't give your information. And security, unidentified dude, assaulter, is trying to get people to go in, which why would he even do that? If your job, like, why are you there? You're not a Scientologist. You don't identify yourself as a security guard. What do you care? If your job is to maintain order, why are you trying to talk people into going in to Winter Wonderland? Stand there, observe, do your job. I think it's interesting that, and again, he never identified himself as security. Is he, isn't he? Is he, isn't he? And we saw this the other day with Ted, the security guard. Ted was like handing out booklets to people. I think it's really interesting that they consider, or that part of their job isn't just acting in a capacity of maintaining order, but in actually recruiting for Scientology and sharing and promoting Scientology propaganda. Just seems like if you're security, I don't see them doing that at Big Blue. So I find this to be very interesting. Don says we call him Sharpie Beard. I love it. Sharpie Beard. Yes, this guy was awful. Hey, Farrell Cheryl. I'm glad you're here, even if you're lurking. Marcy, terrible person, this man. Oh, it gets worse, and we're going to look at it. Is that goatee painted on? Well, he is now Sharpie Man, so maybe. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know why that's funny to me. I think it's because I don't know. When people get heated like that, I've shared this with you guys before, sidebar real quick. I don't know why. I mean, that was funny and amusing, but sometimes when people get like super, super, super mad, I find it funny. I don't know if it's a trauma response, but I genuinely am like, oh, I have to like suppress the laughing because that will be so upsetting. And it's not my intention to upset the person. I feel horrible that I find it so funny. Just the getting like that mad over something. I don't understand it. Yeah, don't forget to awkwardly tap your chest over that like button. Bad Thayton, that's hilarious. Okay, let's look at what happened, you guys, because it got worse. He decided whoever this person is, to get out his flashlight and use some flashlight tech, which we've seen Scientology security employ. We saw it at Celebrity Center when Laura FM was out there. Not only did they use flashlight tech on Laura FM at Celebrity Center the other night, they used fog machine smoke tech and made it so smoky that cars couldn't see where they were going. They had to use flashlights to get their own people into the Celebrity Center building because of all the fog. I mean, they should have just added some spooky music and it really would have played. It would have been very on brand, very much so. So let's take a look at what happened then when he gets out this flashlight and gets very aggressive with Danny.
Oh, you're so effective.
Can you film that way? I don't think so. Can you? Can you? I don't think so.
And he's really, what Scientology calls bull baiting, trying to push Danny's buttons. Oh, you can't film? I don't think so. Can you film with a light on you in your camera? I don't think so. He obviously didn't get the memo to not talk to the protesters.
Yeah. Okay. You filming some light? How is that? Here, let's make it brighter for you. There you go.
There you go. There you go, buddy. Do not fucking touch me.
Don't touch me. You touch me.
Do not
Spicy word warning. Sorry, I forgot to warn you guys. If you have kids in the car or anything like that, there will be a couple of more spicy words.
fucking touch me. No, you did it.
Yeah, I did.
Do not fuck back up.
Rewind your film. Rewind your film.
Okay.
Isn't he now on public property?
Rewind your film.
There's people
Yeah, they're full blown on the sidewalk on public property.
watching,
That's
stupid.
right. You touched me first, jackass. Rewind it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm calling the police.
Okay, first off, rewind your film. I'm sorry, he's not out there with, a click camera. But before I forget, Sandra D, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Happy 1 year anniversary, Natalie. Happy dance. Thank you so much for that. So Danny ended up with a concussion, you guys. He had to go to the hospital. You saw his lip was cut. He had injuries on his hand. He was dizzy. He had a constant headache. And on one of his videos, I caught where he shared he had a concussion. This was very serious. Total fail on the part of Scientology. Pancake party jam. Scientology uses smog and flashlights to obscure and obfuscate. You are correct. Yes. Why? Because they can't actually deal in the truth. They can't go out and go, okay, let's just address this whole human rights abuses thing. They're not. It's cover it up. It's never defend, always attack. That's what L. Ron Hubbard says. That is the dictates of Scientology. Never defend, always attack. And that is what they do. A girl, poor Danny, truly terrible. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jill Anderson says, hi, Osa. Humboldt County is very disappointed in you. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's right, Lolo. Someone mentioned that besides the fog machines, fertilizer was spread and the sprinklers turned on. Outside Celebrity Center, when Laura FM was out there, they had manure again. They like to build a manure moat around Celebrity Center, and I can't figure out why, because you don't think your own people, do they not walk around the building? And then they turned on the sprinklers, so then they were melting the manure. So it was manure, fog. It was just weird. Weird, Scientology, you're weird. Cubana Chica says, what an ass. Yes, indeed. Bad Thetan, film, right? Rewind your film. Rewind your camcorder. Go develop your film. Happy Healing Train. That was really awful. It truly was. It was. YRB. Yep, he's on public property. He came on the public property to attack. Now, I don't know a ton about security rules. You guys know more than me. Aren't they you supposed to stay on private property, not be going out in public and assaulting people who are there? Yep, Yadira, the flashlight was the first assault. Abigail says, if he's part of Scientology, hopefully he got sec check for that. I doubt Scientology is hiring outside security. They're not going to expose their own people to the truth, to hearing these survivor stories, to seeing their survivors. A lot of people out there know who Laura FM is, who are in the C organization. They're not trying to have their people out there being interbulated. Buy that. Pancake Party Jams assault charges should be filed. Yeah, we'll have to ask Danny, what's up? Kelsey, aloha to you as well. Thank you for being there. Here. Thank you for being here. Oh my God, is Danny okay? He seems okay, but he had a concussion. He had headaches. He was dizzy. He was lightheaded. Nisa says, it has gotten to the point that they have spiraled out of control, because this time people are getting hurt and it spilled out into the street. Yeah. Winter Wonderland. This is supposed to be like a kid activity. Why would you have security who are like that aggressive out there doing that? It blows my mind. Gone with the gale. Happy anniversary, Natalie. Been here from the beginning, though I don't comment often. All the best to you from the Clearwater area. Thank you, Gail. And thank you for being here. James Steele, but they don't use the manure on the plants. Yeah, at Celebrity Center. Exactly. It's bizarre. Yeah, buckled up Buttercup. Talk about out PR. I agree. Gia, the aggressor, his sideburns are painted. He's actually completely bald, probably. It looked like it. I can see why you guys were calling him Sharpie Man. Yes. Cats, bats, and flowers. I'm late for my favorite morning date. Good morning. And I love that. This is your favorite morning date. I love that. Rocco, as an epileptic, that flashlight was the first assault. Sorry, Danny. Yeah. Truly. Okay, here. I need to catch up a little bit. Now, Danny's impact. Danny calls the police. I think he's talking to the fire department at this point. He got transferred, but listen to what he says they told him.
Finish the call with the police. They're gonna send an ambulance and everything. But you know what? Because you know how they transfer to the paramedics and stuff like that. Like I was in front of the Church of Scientology, telling people not to go in. And you know what the operator said? What did you expect? It's a place of worship. What did you expect to happen? I'm like, well, not get assaulted. He's like, well,
yeah, you don't expect to get assaulted at an alleged place of worship. There is no worship going on there. I was in Scientology for 35 years with 3 generations at my family. Not one time was there any type of worship. They do a Sunday service to pretend to be a church. It doesn't involve, they try to pretend that, oh yeah, no, we're totally down with God. And yes, you can believe in Jesus, till you get further in Scientologist and you're told some very disturbing details about what Scientology actually thinks about Jesus and Christianity. I just cannot believe that. And I'm sure Danny's going to make a complaint, even just about that. This man was a victim of assault. And you're like, what do you expect? So we should expect, if we're protesting, if someone's exercising their First Amendment right, that you're going to get assaulted. Nuts, absolutely nuts. Jolie, retired fire department medic here. Don't be afraid to call the fire department for the fog. Firefighters and cops hate each other. Fire department would have them turn it off, especially if the cops refuse to. Jolie, that's very interesting. So is that universal across the country? I did not know this. But definitely something to bring up. Let's see. Okay, now, something else. Oh God, we still have like quite a few things to talk about, you guys. Some really juicy stuff too. But real quick, let's look at this. Y'all remember Patrick Perry? You remember the guy who assaults people with his dog, and he assaulted Aaron Smith-Levin, punched him in the head, hit him with his cane. Well, here he is back on YouTube on Nick Shirley's channel, in real life, asking people about the future of America.
I'm not, something. I'll be completely honest with how this country is currently.
I'll be completely honest. In my free time, I just go around assaulting people who are protesting Scientology or exercising their First Amendment right to do so. Well, apparently this guy can remain calm and have a conversation. We've not seen it, but here you go.
Behaving and its attitude towards people like myself.
I think that's the dog behind him there. I'll link it down below. If you guys are interested, you can watch the whole thing there. Also, Windy City Thetan Watch still is, I'm not sure, in South Africa. And we got a little short that he did to take just a really quick look at, they see a Scientology bus out there.
As the security of choice. And look at
So that is the bus that Scientology uses to transport their members.
that. This is a Scientology bus with all the Sea Org members going past. And number 2.
Another Scientology bus there.
So go check out Windy City Thetan Watch. I'm sure he's going to be sharing more about his trip and what he's doing there. Meantime, let's go over to New Haven, where Scientologeek and Manning 8 we usually see in New York. Scientologeek you've seen here on YouTube. We're out there protesting Scientology in New Haven and helping Cubs champion as well. And you guys, I don't know if Scientology New Haven has not been watching YouTube. I'm going to guess no, at least not the content of people exposing Scientology, how they thought it was okay to do this. Like, this would be a good idea. Let's do this. This will get rid of those pesky people who are live streaming and protesting Scientology. First off, they're out there just doing a great job. This is Scientologeek here. They're getting lots of support.
Forever and ever.
We want to fill this board.
Yes, let's fill it. We got another side too. Now check out the community page so you can look at that gnome that Paratology made and the mushroom house that the Antics is making. Give us the number. Let's get started. Okay, we'll be here for at least 2 hours.
They were getting all kinds of honks and all that outside there in New Haven, which is a really, really small Scientology organization. Well, watch this. Look at what happened. See the suspicious character heading their way? Watch this.
It's a criminal organization.
Completely covered up, and I do believe this person had walked by before. I think later they talk about they might have recognized him. Completely covered up all of a sudden with a drink in his hand, and watch.
No one talk to us. Get your TRs in.
Not sus at all, right? And here comes the throw of the beverage. Boom. Look at that. Right at Manning 8. Trying to throw it at him and the camera.
Looks like we got an OSA plan.
What was the deal with that?
Just a douchebag.
Just, just walking away there like nothing. Just leisurely walking down there. Yep, not weird, not suspect at all. I mean, not very churchy, Office of Special Affairs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, really, we're doing that now? We're going to throw drinks on people? It's a waste, for one. But we're going to do that? That's right, Joe Buchanan. Patrick Perry said he's thinking of moving like his brother did to Thailand, I believe it was, in that video. I did hear that part. He's really seriously considering moving to Thailand because his money goes further. Yeah, it does. That is true. Also, some other shady things and reasons sometimes. Well, we won't get into that, but you guys know. Yeah, couldn't believe it. It was totally assault. You're right, Kathy. And Rika, I saw your comment too. Cajun Mama, that's outrageous. Absolutely. Bozo, yes. OMG. All of the things. That was Manning 8. Manning 8. You can go to Manning 8's channel. I'm going to link it down below. Xenu free. Hope he didn't throw niacin. Cubano Chica says, poor Thailand. Yeah, Thailand. You're about to get Patrick Perry. And you know what? No backs. No backs. I'm telling you. Andrew, do you think OSA makes them buy their own drink to throw with his $46 a week? Yes. Now, that guy is not, I would be shocked if that was a member of the C organization. And they're the only ones that make the $47 a week. Scientology staff make less, sometimes more, but the vast majority of the time, not enough money to live on. Not enough money to live on. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? How crazy is that? Again, like, what's happening, Scientology? You're losing your mind is what you're doing. Office of Special Affairs. You need to have a meeting, like round up the people, get out a memo, send an email, something to be like, hey, why are you people not keeping in your TRs? As is the phrase in Scientology, which basically means be there comfortably and confront and shatter suppression. You literally force Scientologists to do courses on this over and over and over again. Many people do the potential trouble source suppressive person course on how to confront and shatter suppression multiple times. Walk the walk. Where is it? It's because in large part, they're using non-Scientologists. Scientologists will lose their stuff. We've seen it. But they're using non-Scientologists too. How is this supposed to be any better? They're representing you. They are. Cubana Chica says, poor Osa, Nat keeps waking them from their nap. I know. They're probably really tired because it was a crazy weekend. Andrew, they're giving crazy X vibes. Yeah, they really are. They really are. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, we are going to get into how Leah Remini's recent update on Mike Rinder is inspiring Catholics. But real quick first, I'm going to link it down below. If you guys didn't see it, I did a video with Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology, celebrating my 1 year. Saturday was my 1 year on YouTube. Sunday. Saturday was my 1 year anniversary of the marathon video I did with Aaron. Let's just look at a little clip from our video the other day. But I've come to learn that on YouTube, it's really about connecting with that creator or that person whose channel it is, and people can take it or leave it. And I've been getting more comfortable with that level of vulnerability. And I've talked with you some about that too, is finding that there's a difference between being willing to talk about anything and being willing to really be vulnerable. We had a great conversation. I really enjoyed the chat. It's been a few months since I've sat down with Aaron and done that. So you can check it out. It will be linked down below. It's also my channel under lives. You can find it and check it out. And thank you to all of you who've been sending all the happy anniversary wishes and comments and emails. Thank you so much. Thank you for continuing to be here. Now let's talk about this, I don't know what to call it, blog article that's out, where it references, and I covered this the other day on my channel, Leah Remini went to the bedside of Mike Rinder, who many of you know, he's a former Scientologist, Sea Org member, was the head of the Office of Special Affairs, and unfortunately has been battling cancer and is not doing well. And she did a post on Instagram that was an update. Well, then there was, let's see, who is this? Who wrote? From Mike Lewis, there's an article that comes out, What Faithful Catholics Can Learn from Ex-Scientologists. And I had to, when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, I got to read this. Like, I wonder what it is. Now, a lot of the article, so it does talk about, this is the image that Leah Remini posted on her update about Mike Rinder. This is on Instagram. It basically gives the whole update. We shared this the other day and went over it. And this talks about basically their history together in doing the A&E show, the documentary series that investigated and exposed a long history of abuse, secrecy, and controversial practices in the cult of Scientology. This is pretty lengthy. It goes into all that, talks about Mike Rinder's work in exposing Scientology, including some of the things that he did in Scientology. What does any of this have to do with Catholicism? And this is really interesting because it gets into talking about how Mike Rinder's journey from a high-ranking official in Scientology to a vocal critic offers valuable insight for faithful Catholics. His story underscores the importance of discernment and personal integrity in one's faith journey. Rinder's eventual departure from Scientology, prompted by his recognition of systemic abuses, highlights the necessity of critically evaluating our own religious leaders, as well as our groups and practices, to ensure that we aren't being coerced or manipulated into unhealthy spiritual practices and ways of thinking. I'm going to link the whole thing down below so you guys can read it. But I thought that is an interesting point of view from somebody of the Catholic faith to look at people exposing Scientology and go, wow, you know what? We should be sure to use discernment and question and make sure that we're just not being manipulated, that it's okay to ask questions and get answers to those questions. Mage says, I will say anything that advises questioning authorities is good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Andrew says, shockingly self-aware for the church. Well, I don't know that this person is like, I think it's their own, their own blog reflection, what faithful Catholics can learn from ex-Scientologists. It was really interesting. I love, they shared a video that Mike Rinder posted, but it really goes into a lot about how, these things that Catholics can learn to make sure they're not a cult. This person even says, I have argued in the past that although Catholicism as a whole is not a cult, there are many cult-like groups within Catholicism. Identifying and exposing spiritually abusive groups and leaders is absolutely necessary for the health of our church. So yes, it is. And I am just fascinated that these realizations or this conversation or the jumping off point is from ex-Scientologists. I think it's, in a way, I kind of think, okay, so are Catholics, are other groups maybe even that might have some cultiness going on, taking a page out of what's happening with Scientology? At even the protest, the sheer number of former members coming forward and saying, hey, it's true, Scientology is a cult. Here's my experience. Here's what happened to me. And they're sharing their stories. And we're elevating those voices. And that message is getting out. And is it now making kind of even the Catholics go, ooh, maybe we better check ourselves before we wreck ourselves? That was my takeaway. I will share it down below so you can read the whole thing. Bad Thayton says, go hit that like button or the manure and sprinklers will appear in a space near you. Yeah, Scientology, you've now resorted to manure, sprinklers, fog. I mean, it's the craziest thing. People live streaming and protesting Scientology are not ants or roaches that you can just scare off with flashing lights or smoke or manure or anything like that, especially one like Lara FM, who grew up in Scientology in the C organization, and other survivors and the people who've never been in Scientology, but are all in on ending this abusive cult. They're very motivated by their stories, and Scientology, you know that they're true, and you know that there's so many of them. David Bruce says, Catholic Church has won the skin suit of Christianity from the very beginning. Pagans rule from the shadows. Has worn the skin suit of Christianity from the very beginning. That's very descriptive, David Bruce, skin suit. Jamie Castro says anyone can learn things from ex-Scientologists. I agree. It's very interesting because it's not just like many of you who are here. The vast majority of my audience here, you guys with me, have never been in Scientology, but like I said, are all in on ending this cult. And the more we hear even about other cults or questionable ones, the similarities are there. And my hope is that as we continue to spread the word about the harmful abuses and practices of Scientology, which is a cult, that it raises awareness about other cults. And then other cults might be like, ooh, look what's happening to Scientology. We're next. Because you just should not be culting. It's a horrible thing about humanity. God, there's so many cults. So many. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I get what you're saying. I get that. Esperanza, Wendy is in my country. How exciting. I moved to the UK, but missed the sunshine and biltong. What's biltong? You got to tell me now. Now I want to know. Boldill says, yes, I haven't seen any other ex-cult communities where so many that were high-ranking ex-members being so open about abuse that most members never see. It's such a treasure for everyone. Yeah, there's so much to learn for people. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lupita, Scientology should get schooled in protesters, right? Yeah. And know what the rules are, know what the laws are. Just like anyone going out to live stream or protest at a Scientology building, you need to know the laws, not just in your state, but even in the city that you're going to. Find out what the rules are because they do change from state to state. And there could be a city that has ordinances that you might not be aware of. It's just a way to protect yourself and make sure you're not doing anything that could inadvertently break the law. And Scientology can use that against you because that is what they're looking for. They're looking for people who live stream and protest Scientology breaking the law, while Scientology also breaks the law. So it goes both ways, Scientology. It goes both ways. It does. Susie says, oh man, I'm biting my tongue right now. I know. Maria says, I don't think even in the Catholic Church, they tell you to leave your family if you don't go to church or say something they don't like. Yes, I've not heard of that. Or them hunting people down at the airport, bus stations, train stations because they leave. They leave the Catholic Church. I've not heard of that. I've not heard any of that stuff. Let's see. What is today? Today is Monday. You guys, be sure. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, set your notification bell to all because you never know when I'll pop on again. I hope you guys have an amazing cult-free day.